Will's confused. It's sprinkling, and he's like, what's going on out there? I know. He's like, what's going on? I know. Come here. So, finally, I keep calling this No Place Like Holmes, but it's not. It's Holmes is Where the Heart Is tag. Miriam did it, and it sounded like so much fun. Didn't realize it was going to be so hard, but it sounded like so much fun, so I wanted to do it, and I've been working on it for like ever, and I've got my idea for this. We're going to play a game. Hopefully I can do this quickly. Cars are driving by. Life is great. Kevin slept last night. He didn't sleep the night before, but he slept last night. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to buy my ticket for my retreat. I'm going to take the plunge and go in faith, and we're going to call this good. So I'm going to put Miriam's, since I found it her there, and the one that she thinks was her where she found it, and we're going to go with that. Because why else? So the first prompt in this thing is, elementary, my dear Watson, share a classic mystery novel that you consider a must read. And I just realized that I've already started off breaking the rules because I missed that little word classic until like right now. This is one I hope will become a classic. Does that count? Because seriously, I think The Body They May Kill by Audrey Stahl-Smith. I mean, look how much I tabbed a mystery, okay? I think this should be a classic. I think it is a must-read. And, yeah. I totally messed that one up. Oops. Oh, well, we're starting off good. So, okay, The Body They May Kill. It kicks off one of my favorite characters of all time in the first few pages, and then that character dies, and I was like, what? You better get him some justice, because there's just so much good in here. But when it says right here who dies, kicking it off, so I could tell you, but I don't want to, because if you go into this completely blind, I think it's richer. I had read the back at some point, but quite a ways since I actually read the book, and then it didn't affect me because I had forgotten. I think I had forgotten who did it. So, I mean, who died. It says right here, captivating, character-rich whodunit. Yeah. It is, yeah, it's just so good. Audrey Stahl-Smith also wrote the Time Will Tell mysteries. This says the first Deerfield mystery. There was only one. It must not have sold well enough, and Thomas Nelson apparently killed the series, which is too bad because I want more, and I don't have it. But this reads like a classic mystery. It's just so good. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it, because I don't really want to give much away. And I tried so hard to stick myself to just one book for each because I want to do this thing. But I mostly stuck to that, okay? Mostly. It's kind of like Mad Max Mostly Dead. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, Baker Street Irregulars. Recommend a book with a group of unlikely heroes or a diverse ensemble cast. And I went with Shady Hollow because, I mean, there are other ones. I mean, I was thinking about like the Ashley Weaver, Electra, what's her face? They were safecrackers, thieves, and then they went to work for the British government and all that series. Peculiar Combination, something, that one, right? I thought about that, but this one, I mean, think about it. Ensemble cast, we got woodland creatures solving mysteries here. And that's pretty cool. So, I mean, they're not the richest, deepest mysteries. I mean, you're not going to go into this and have just a tear out your hair, I can't figure it out who done it. They're pretty easy to figure out, but that's not why you read these. You read these because you get a mystery among just a fun group of characters. And so, I mean, it like defines mystery ensemble cast, right? So you've got a fox who is a reporter. You have a moose who runs a cafe. You have a bear who is the deputy, and you've got, I think the crow, Lenore. I think her name is Lenore. She runs the bookshop. You just got all kinds of people, right? And it's so much fun. I haven't read the third one, and there's no reason. I just haven't gotten it yet. But I've enjoyed them all. The Christmas novella I enjoyed the least, but it was fun. You know, I was glad I read it, but it wasn't. There was the mystery in that was more of a very light puzzle. I mean, it really wasn't much of a mystery, but it was a novella. What do you expect? And they call this Watership Down meets Mickey Spillane. Okay, look. I've never read a Mickey Spillane. My dad had a bunch of Mickey Spillanes as a kid, and I remember pulling one off the shelf going, I wonder if these are any good, and I saw the cover, and I just put it right back on the shelf, because they've got some pretty seriously risque covers. And I've never read Watership Down. I was told I'd be bored stiff, and I kind of believed him, so yeah, let's go with that. So, I don't know if I agree with the endorsement blurb, but I still agree that the story is great. The stories are great. So, that was the Unlikely Heroes, right? Okay, so 3, the game is afoot. And name a book that had a plot twist or revelation that completely surprised you. And I say this all the time, I'm really sorry, but I'm going with Mind Games by Nancy Mel. I read the book, I followed it all, I figured out who it was. That was pretty easy for me. I mean, this is more suspense than mystery, but there is the mystery of who's doing this, right? And I got right down to the last paragraph. Let me see, is it right? Let me make sure I'm right about that. Yeah. The last, technically there's a little bit of dialogue and then a line. It's that line. You know, that line is the last paragraph. Threw me like nobody's business. I mean, because you've got this whole thing and it's all wrapped up. This suspense mystery combo thing is all wrapped up. And you get down to that last line and it just blew everything wide open. You're like, wait, what? It was so good. So good. And I think you might have been able to figure that out along the way if you were looking. But I wasn't looking at all because I was focused on the other. She did, great misdirection. Anyway, okay, the next one is 221B Baker Street. Talk about the time you visited somewhere of literary significance. Well, last year at this time, okay, technically on the day here that I'm recording, I was on Skye. But a couple days before that, I was in Grasmere, and then a day or two before that, I was at a Hilltop. So I went and saw and toured, and I'm going to put some clips in here. Beatrix Potter's home. It was really funny. I liked going to Hilltop. That was fun. It was neat. But I gotta tell you, the minute I went out and I went into her garden, I was like, I'm in Mr. McGregor's garden. This is Mr. McGregor. And I was like, oh my gravy. This is so cool. It was like I said, I like Beatrix Potter. I love those little green books, the little ones that you used to get at the library when you were a kid. I would get those every time we went to the library just because I love the little books and I love the illustrations. The stories were fine. As a kid, they were fine. I like them better now. But, but it was just they were so cute. So that was, being there was great. I got this little bee-skep candle that I'll probably never burn, but I thought it was super cute. And I got my friend a tote bag at the little gift shop, I got my other friend a dip quill because I knew she would enjoy it. It was black. It was like raven feathers. I can't find it anywhere, and I had it when I got home. I don't know. I put it somewhere safe. I remember thinking, I got to make sure that this is safe. And I don't know where safe is. Never put something somewhere safe. Just don't. So yeah, one of these days I'll find it, 10 years after I've been there, and I'll be like, hey, I know you don't care about this stuff anymore, but I finally got your gift. Yeah, that was while I was in C-Scale doing my whole Winwood videos and checking out where my medieval fantasy, middle grade was taking place. So I went and I saw where the caves would be, and I saw where and it was so cool. While I was doing that, they were at Grasmere, and they went to Wordsworth's Dove Cottage and just all the Wordsworth stuff. And I didn't think, it wasn't that I wasn't interested, because that's not true, but I didn't think I was interested enough to spend the day wandering around there when I had other things that I wanted to do, like really just sit in the cottage and absorb being in an English cottage. I never felt like I got just to sit and absorb it. It wasn't enough, but I can do that next time I go. I can do that next time. So I'm glad I went, because when I got there and I toured it all, it was just, they had it just left how it probably would have been at the time. And the scraps of paper and the children's toys and just all the things. It was great. So I mean, you should be able to see it with these clips I'm putting in here. But awesome. It was Wordsworth is one of my favorite poets, so that helped. But on top of that, just being able to walk where he walked, it would be a little bit like a literary pilgrimage, if you will, equivalent to going to Israel and walking the paths that Jesus may have walked, and knowing that he was there healing people and feeding people with the word and physically, and he was enduring all this for me. Well, it's a little bit, totally not anywhere near necessary thing, but it felt a little bit the same, walking all over, walking around Windermere and just walking those little hills and everything, and knowing that the things that inspired his poetry, the place that he walked, that he got that inspiration, I was walking those same places. I was in that same area, and I could see what inspired him, and I could get it. And so that was really cool. That was cool. So yeah, okay, probably talked too long about that. We're just going to skip it and move along. So number 5, Moriarty's master plan. Discuss a book where the antagonist was exceptionally cunning and memorable. Now, I am going to say this one and hope that I'm right. So this is the 4th Ruby. It's book 2 in the Lost Property Office, the section 13 series by James R. Hannibal. I'm almost done. I'm 2/3 through. I'll probably finish tonight or tomorrow night. So I could be wrong about saying that this is a thing, because who the antagonist is in here, I would never have imagined. And I feel like I got taken in and like, whoa, wait, what happened? Last night I just had this, I do not believe this is happening moment, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. How could this be happening? It was that kind of a moment. And if it turns out that that person is not an antagonist, then I'm totally wrong. I just couldn't think of anyone, and I was going to say I'm not doing it because but then I looked up and I saw that and I'm like, yeah, that threw me. So it is totally memorable, and it totally threw me for a loop, and it's good, but it's entirely possible that I am wrong and I've been tricked. So that's what you get. What can I say? Okay, so the Art of Deduction. Mention either a book that kept you guessing all the way to the end or one where you guessed the outcome earlier on. And I know I just talked about this, but since it did both for me, I decided to go with the Thursday Murder Club because I did really early figure out who done it. But the problem is it was only a one done it. there are multiples in here. And I figured out another one pretty quickly. And I should have figured out the main thing. And I missed it. I was just so off. So that was really cool because Osmond did a great job of like sending you in a totally different direction. And you're seeing exactly who it is the entire time. It's there on the page. And you just, well, I just anyway, I completely disregarded it like it couldn't be the thing. And then it was the thing. That was kind of cool. Liked it. Loved the book. Can't wait to read the next. And I'm glad to hear that he's going to continue though. Okay. And then The Hound of the Baskervilles. Talk about a book with a strong atmospheric setting or one where the setting plays a significant role in the story. And I actually went with The Women in Black by Susan Hill. It is kind of gothic, classic ghost story horror thing, but it is really atmospheric. I feel like I got to mention something else in a second, but this one in particular, you know, he goes to this house and people say they see this woman in black and he doesn't know why and he doesn't know what's going on. And I really can't tell much about it without totally ruining it because it is a ghost story, but it is, and I don't generally like them, but I liked this one. It's horror, but it's not gruesome. And the what happened and the how and the why is all just really, it says, I'll just read the back. Arthur Kipp is an up-and-coming London solicitor who is sent to, is that a G or a C? Crithen Gifford, a faraway town in the windswept salt marshes beyond Nine Lives Causeway, to attend the funeral and settle the affairs of a client, Mrs. Alice Drablow of Eel Marsh House. Mrs. Drablow's house stands at the end of a causeway wreathed in fog and mystery, but Kipps is unaware of the tragic secrets that lie hidden beneath the sheltered windows. The routine business trip he anticipated quickly takes a horrifying turn when he finds himself haunted by a series of mysterious sounds and images: a rocking chair in a deserted nursery, the eerie sound of a pony and trap, a child's scream in the fog, and the most terrifying of all, a ghostly woman dressed in all black. And yeah, it is just all the things. That was really good. If my one friend says, oh, you've got to read this or watch this, I don't always feel confident because she likes things a lot more creepy than I do. And she doesn't have to Scooby-Doo things like I do. And so, yeah. But I really liked it. Okay. Number 8, The Reichenbach Falls. Talk about a series you thought had ended, but made a surprise comeback. Okay, so this is a surprise to me. I don't think it was intended to be a surprise, but Jacqueline Winspear did, and this is not the last one. It's just the one I happen to own. I listened to these all on audio, but Jacqueline Winspear did 17 Maisie Dobbs, and then she wrote The Lady in White, I think. Or The White Lady. I think it was The White Lady. I think I'm messing it all up with Loki Collins. But she did The White Lady, and it was a standalone. And it wasn't that I was sorry that I read it. It wasn't, but it was not up to Maisie Parr at all. And then just last month, I was doing something, and I had gone through a mystery, that I was reading about, and at the bottom suggested was another Maisie Dobbs. We're getting a Maisie Dobbs. I think it's in June. I'm so excited. So I thought that when she had that standalone, that meant Maisie Dobbs was over. Nope, we got another Maisie. So I'm really excited. I don't know what number this is because publishers and stupidity. And I can say that because I've done it myself. where I have forgotten to number the spines, which I'm taking care of. I'm fixing it. I usually am good about that, though. I will admit that I give myself that kind of credit. Okay. So this one is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is like book number 7, I think. Oh, yeah. There's that little 7 right there. Yeah. So this is, but see, why? There could totally be a 7 right there. I'm fine. I'm fine. So I'm excited we get more Maisie. All right. So then it says, number 9, Sherlockian adaptations. Discuss your favorite book-to-screen adaptation or a retelling of a classic story. Okay. Here's the deal. If we're talking mysteries, sorry, lovely neighbors. Oh, no. I lied. It's my daughter and her little charges. They're just talking and having fun, and I'm saying ugly things about the neighbors. Yeah. Good one, Shadar. Okay. You want him out?
Yeah.
He's all excited. Doofus, go on. They're going to go play. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, all right. First, let me make some enemies, and then maybe I can redeem myself. I'm gonna make enemies here. That's all. That's just remember that I'm not always so contrary, right? Okay, so the newest Tommy and Tuppence, aside from the initial Tommy's kind of a bumbling idiot, I know what they did and why they did it, and I don't think it was about, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it was about let's make Tuppence the brilliant and him stupid. That, you know, I get tired of the dumb man and the woman has to save him from himself attitude. I really do. But I like that they created a character growth where she's overconfident and he appears to be mumbling, and then they kind of grow together. And that's what I see happening in that one. But I thought they did a pretty decent job of, you know, Tommy and Tuppence, those series, they start off when they're like early 20s-ish, and then go all the way through until they're like 80. And I thought they did a pretty decent job of just melding it into a kind of middle of the road age range, and just let it stay. I don't think the dogs are now going to play with the neighbor dogs, but whatever. You just have to deal. Sorry. But you know, I thought they did a decent job, and they really made you care about the characters, and the stories fit pretty. I don't want to say that they followed Christie's story exactly, because they really didn't, but they fit the Christie vibe, and so I liked it. It to me, it's more of a Sherlock, the contemporary one, idea, as opposed to a Miss Marple retelling. You know, where I love all the Joan Hickson Miss Marples. I love them. 450 to Paddington, my favorite, but that stays a little more faithful to the book. Those do. This one, it's more of the feel and the attitude and whatever. And I liked it. What can I say? But as far as other things, 95 Pride and Prejudice, definitely. I have a hard time with Emma, because there's the Miramax version with Gwyneth Paltrow that isn't as good as the Romola, whatever her name is, and Johnny Lee. Except that they have a few lines that are and scenes that are better. We love Try Not to Kill My Dogs from Gwyneth Paltrow, and we love Miss Bates Napkin, sorry. And Badly Done Emma, Jeremy Northam nailed that. It is way better than Johnny Lee. Is it Johnny Lee Miller? I think it's Johnny Lee Miller. But it was Johnny Lee Miller dropped that one. He failed. I'm sorry. It just doesn't have the punch, the kick in the gut that Jeremy Northam's had. And in the Johnny Lee Miller version, with Romola, they did They did do that. Maybe if I loved you less, I could talk about it more. So, I mean, they both have strengths and weaknesses. Mostly, I prefer the newer one. The last one, I won't even watch. I'm just not going there. Just like, I don't want to be disappointed. I'm just not going there. I don't need to. I have two that I like. And let's face it, the one with Jeremy Northam and Gwyneth Paltrow has that enormous, amazing oak tree. Can we just say oak tree? Oh. I love John. I hate John. I mean, come on. So there's that. I like both of the new. I like the Ciarán Hinds Persuasion best, but I do like some things about the newer one. I can't remember who is in the newer one, but the Ciarán Hinds, what I love about that one more, in the one with Amanda Root, she starts off and she is so thin and sallow and just haggard looking. And by the end, she has filled out and she's rosy and she's smiling. And you just see that transformation of who Wentworth actually fell in love with. And I thought that was brilliant cinematography, so I loved that. Magic of Ordinary Days is, in my opinion, a terrible book. I hate what they did in the book. But when Hallmark Masterpiece, the full-length good, not the cheesy whatever, when they did it with Skeet Ulrich and Kerry Russell, they did the movie, they did a phenomenal job. It has nothing to do with mystery, of course, but there is a cute Angela Lansbury Mrs. Halifax. It is cute, and I like it. It is not good enough, but you couldn't. There's no way. It would each book would have to be like a series for the year, like a 20 episode series to get it done and done well. It would just have to be. And so it'll never happen because nobody will put the money into that, which is really sad. Tell the neighbor dog to shut up. So anyway, there's that one. But yeah, Tommy and Tuppence is what I'm going for as my official thing. I liked it, and I know a lot of people don't. So there's that. And then The Great Detective. Recommend a book with a brilliant and memorable protagonist. Now, I did try to stick with mysteries. Definitely Mrs. Halifax, obviously. Amelia Peabody, I'm listening to her again. I'm listening to Crocodile on the Sandbank right now. She was my first thought even before Halifax. Then I'm like, wait a minute. Because I think of those two very similarly because I listen to them. If I listen to binge all of one, I tend to go and start binging the other one. And that's what I've done. Chrissy from Lord Edgington. Christopher Prentice, they call him Chrissy, from the Lord Edgingtons. Yeah, he's so much fun. He's such a bundle of, if you combined Harry and Ron from the Harry Potter books into one 1920s teen and gave him a grandpa who was more like Hermione, you would have Chrissy. And it just, because he is smart and he is intelligent, but he has no confidence and he bumbles and he makes really ridiculous mistakes. And yet you see this character growth, and he, both in his ability to figure stuff out, but also in how he reacts with his grandpa, and that's really cool. So I would definitely say him. And of course, I can't remember Great Detective, brilliant and memorable, Miss Marple, because she is my favorite Christie detective, bar none. I mean, you put her and Poirot together, it's like, just toss him, because I love her so much. Poirot annoys me. He annoyed Christie. Christie didn't like him, but he's brilliant. He is. And I even like brilliant detectives that are a little too smart like him. I actually do like it. I like reading Poirot mysteries. They're fun. But I can't do too much, because when you have someone that brilliant, if we don't always get to see how his mind is working so that we can go along with it, I like a play for a mystery, and Poirot mysteries often aren't. So there's that. All right. We've done that. I'm going to scroll back up here and I'm going to move the camera so we can see down there. And we're going to try to create, this is so silly, but we're going to try to create answers based on, they're going to be total guesses, but it's a way to get through some of these, yeah, I have a lot of books here. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this thing. Here we go. All right. You even get to see my socks. How cool is that? All right. So here we go again. Classic mystery novel that you consider a must read. Well, are there any mystery novels up here? Huh. You know, I'm pretty sure I pulled this off this shelf. So I'm going to go with this one. Why not? Because whatever. So this is The Mapping of Love and Death. It's one of the Maisie Dobbs. And August 1914, Michael Clifton is mapping the land he just purchased in California's beautiful San Ynez Valley, certain that oil lies beneath its surface. But as the young cartographer prepares for his return home to Boston, war is declared in Europe. And as the youngest son of an Englishman, he puts duty first and sails for his father's native country to serve in the British Army. And then we go to 1932. So, don't you just love those covers? I love those covers. So I'm counting that. Unlikely heroes or a diverse ensemble cast. Okay, unlikely heroes. Well, I'm going to go, and this is kind of silly, but I'm going to go with this one. Wait. I'm making a mess. See why I need to get these off here? Courting More a Little by Laura France. I was talking to her. I was talking to someone else. And they said that this was like the best book by Laura France. And when I was talking to Laura, she said she agreed. This one is out of print, actual print. It is available on Kindle, and it still sells well, but it's out of print. But I'm going to read it. Caught between the wilderness and civilization, More a Little must find her way to true love. Oh, joy. But no, I definitely forget the love. I want to read it because it sounds like a fabulous story. More a Little is haunted by the memory of the day her family was torn apart by raiding Shawnee warriors. Now that she's nearly a grown woman and her father is ailing, she must make difficult choices about the future. Several men, ranging from the undesired to the unthinkable, vie for her attentions, but she finds herself inexplicably drawn to a forbidden love that both terrifies and intrigues her. Can she betray the memory of her lost loved ones and garner suspicion from her friends by pursuing a life with him? Or should she seal her own misery by marrying a man she doesn't love? I think, pretty sure this is the one where she may actually end up marrying a native, if I recall correctly, but I'm not sure. But I bought a second copy. I already own this, but I bought a second copy to have on hand in case I love it and somebody wants one and can't find one at a decent price. So that's really the only reason I even bought it. The game is Afoot. Name a foot that had a plot twist or revelation that completely surprised you. I'm going to go with The Agency for Scandal by Laura Wood, because it feels like that's the kind of thing you might find. And it says, when hunting for secrets during the London season, there is really only one place to go. Isabel Stanhope is keeping a lot of secrets. She's head over heels in love with a duke who doesn't know she exists. Her family fortune is lost, and then there's her job at the Aviary, an investigative agency run by women that specializes in blackmailing powerful men. When Izzy's secret crush becomes embroiled in her most dangerous case yet, the two must work together to uncover a sinister plot, unmask a villain, and definitely not fall in love. That would create quite a scandal. I mean, come on. So I feel like that fits the plot twist or revelation. Surely there'll be one in there, right? Time you visited somewhere of literary significance. I'm going to go with The Rosemary Tree by Elizabeth Goudge. I've already read this book. I love this book, but I found this really great copy for, I was like, I don't know, $8 or something on eBay. So I grabbed it, and I went to England last year, and this takes place in England, and we're going to call that it counts. But the Rosemary Tree is, this woman has, she married somebody kind of on a rebound. He's a vicar. He is totally in love with his wife. She kind of actually despises him, and then there's all the stuff that goes in between them, and then how they grow into a real couple. Don't you just love all the noise today? I bet you're just loving that. Moriarty's master plan. Discuss a book where the antagonist was exceptionally cunning or memorable. Antagonist. Okay, I'm gonna go because I know how she is. I'm gonna go with Carrie Stewart Parks because I figure if anyone on this shelf has a cunning and amazing antagonist, it will be her. So we're gonna go with her. So her carefully crafted life is about to be demolished. I think I got this at the local book sale. Anyway, after a difficult childhood, Samantha Williams craves simplicity, jigsaw puzzles, lectures at the library, and the students she adores in her role as elementary school art teacher in the dusty farming community of La Crosse, Washington. But when an SUV crashes into the building where she teaches, her entire world is upended. Samantha manages to keep the children safe, but her car isn't so lucky. Oddly, her purse with her driver's license, credit card, and other identification is missing from the wreckage. Da, da, da. So, yeah, I'm thinking we're going to have someone cunning. I'm going with that. The Art of Deduction. Mention a book that kept you guessing all the way to the end, or where you guessed the outcome early on. Well, I feel like, and I'm just going to pull off all of his books. His episode just went up today. I talked to Tim Shoemaker recently, and this one isn't part of the series. This one I think is about bullying, if I recall. Yeah. Taking on bullies comes with hidden danger. Becoming one yourself. So this is middle grade / YA. Ages 12 to 14. So, you know, it sounded really, really good. So I got that one. And then I got the first two in his high water novels, Escape from the Everglades and Every Hidden Thing. In this one, he actually has a terrible event. He ends up in the water and almost dying in the Everglades. And then their family's moving away, but they can't get away yet. His dad is a park ranger and his friends are park ranger kids. And then, but they are going to move to Massachusetts. And then I think in this one they actually have moved to Massachusetts. And I think they're playing hide and seek out there. But anyway, so I figure I'll be able to guess stuff, but I'll enjoy it. We're going to go with that. Then, yeah, I know I'm totally being ridiculous, but I don't care. Okay, talk about a book with a strong atmospheric setting, or one where the setting plays a significant role in the story. Atmospheric or significant role. I'm going to do this one, The Ravest Voices by Ida Cook. This is the gal who is in here. So Ida and Louise Cook were two ordinary English women, seemingly destined to never to stray from their quiet London suburb and comfortable desk jobs. But in 1923, a chance encounter sparked a passion for opera in the sisters that led to the formation of friendships with some of Europe's leading singers and their network, many of them Jewish. As the Nazis rose to power, I'm finding humor in all the giggles with Nazis rose to power. Ida and Louise worked with the opera world's insiders to help secure safe passage for dozens of members of the community through ingenuity, thrift, and bottomless goodwill. No one would have predicted such daring lives for Ida and Louise Cook, but that underestimation is exactly how they were able to elude Nazi suspicion. And Ida wrote this in like the 50s about her and her sister. So, yes, I had to have this because, yes. And apparently there is a movie. So, I will have to check that out. But I'm thinking this will be definitely setting is a big deal. Don't you think? Opera, all that stuffness, right? Then, Reichenbach Falls. Talk about a series you thought had ended, but it's made a surprise comeback. I don't think I actually get to do this one. There are no series up here. Unless you can count the fact that I ended up with 2 copies of one, thanks to the gracious gift of a publisher. But yeah, I got nothing for that one. Okay. Favorite book to screen adaptation or a retelling of a classic story. Okay. I think I'm going to go with which one would I like to see an adaptation for. And for that one, I will do this one. This one was super fun. Love Overboard. It was hilarious. It was, it's Mrs. Kip meets Mrs. Polifax on a cruise ship playing matchmaker. It's a whole lot of fun. And there is an actual kind of mystery-ish thing involved. So we're gonna count that. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give one of these away. So just if you want to read this book, say so, and I will send it to somebody. I only have one to give away because I am keeping the other, but still, hey, why not? And then finally, I only get to pull one more off the shelf, but look at that. I've cleared some of it out. A book with a brilliant and memorable protagonist. I think I'm going to go with this one because I love Joanna Davidson Politano, The Elusive Truth of Lily Temple. I feel like she's definitely going to be a memorable protagonist. She's a silent film actress who spins fairy tales and plays frivolous roles in front of the cinecamera. But beneath the costumes and stage makeup is a woman with a quick wit, a murky past, and a tantalizing secret. And then it says, in the search for truth, the line between fact and fiction is beginning to fall out of focus. So, those were some of the books that I got. And I have to stop there because I promised myself I'd only do one for each. We're gonna assume this is good. Toothless, Neville, go play. All right, so these are the mystery recommendations. For the tag. And I'm not going to try to hold those up because nightmare. But yeah, so Holmes is where the heart is. Mystery is definitely where my heart is often. So that was a fun one. I think that's one of the reasons why I was so eager to actually do this one. Haven't done many tags, but they're fun. And I liked doing it. I liked thinking outside the box, especially for the book haul. So, I mean, we have a tag haul. And I hope I remember to look back and see if any of these actually worked, because that would be cool. All right. Have a good one. I'll chat with you later.